And now for Tournament of Avalon. No, I'm just kidding. This will be episode 9 of Downfall, Conquest of the Third Reich. It is the Soviets' turn. Let's see what they will do. So, the Soviets have been assaulting pretty hard in the winter, which is kind of a drain on the resources. And now they're kind of out of armor. I got a few over here. So I think the Soviets have to kind of take a break before they go at it again. Kind of letting this guy, giving this guy a chance to escape, maybe, but, you know, I don't want to, the Soviets do not want to just invest into some futile attacks here, especially when they have no armor. And the other thing that happened last episode is that the Westerners had the Africa Corps on the ropes, but they also had to stop, and now they were able to get reinforcements to the Africa Corps. They are in a much stronger position, so I think the Westerners are stalled too. For the rest of the winter, I think this is going to be a rebuilding phase. So let's see. Our action track, and I think the Soviets first are just going to bank and put this in their planning box, so they have an attack available when all this gets restated. We're getting close to the end of the turn, first turn finally. So indeed, we will bank this for one initiative. Right there. That means they get to go again. Near the back here. And before we do that, we do have to roll the weather. And that is a 10. But it's not going to go any further than the Westerners up here at 62. Alright. Let's go back to the board. Everything comes down. And a cup of action. Let me pull out Soviet deploy order. That's nice. And you know what? We haven't seen partisan warfare come up yet, so let's go ahead and do it. It'll cost the Soviets 7. And that will bring us from 57 to 64. For that, we're going to play this card, Conference. Play at the start of any Soviet order, and I read that to mean that once you've committed to an order, this is when you can play it. Draw 2 cards. The Western faction discards a card at random, then draws 2 cards. Wow. Another little take that for you. Okay, let's do it. I don't mind doing this. There has been a update to the rules. They have now imposed a 10-card hand limit. And this could be trouble, because if it turns out you're able to earn a card and you're already at the 10-hand limit, you will forfeit those. So you do need to be cycling your cards, so I don't mind cycling here, although I am going to get one more than I had before. So the first one is Tank Corps. Nice. And Western Front. Oh, that'll be handy. The Westerners have 6 cards in their hand, and we're going to have to shuffle and randomly draw one and discard it. This could be brutal, because I do want something like my Naval Dominance card. I'd be very upset to see that one go. A few more shuffles here. And the card to be discarded shall be Allied Force HQ. Oof. That's my free attack. That's a nice card, but I'm glad it's not my Naval Dominance card. And we get to draw 2 now. Carpet bombing. West gains air superiority. That could come in handy. And the second one is Allied Conference. Play at the Western. Number your order markers from the ops section back into the action pool. Draw 2. Choose 1. Draw 2 cards and discard 1. Your opponent reveals all Soviet cards. Choose discard 1 of those cards. Alright. Partisan warfare is not an automatic success. We have to roll for it on this table here. No modifiers. I think the only modifier available for it would if there was an event card, which we don't have. But we need a 5 to place one, and we need a 10 if we want to place 2. And a 3 is a big fat fail, so we just spent 7 initiative for nothing. Time for the OKH. Slide everything down. And another draw from the cup. A Westerner's deploy order with some Navy on there. It's going to be expensive, but... Oh, wait a minute, that's just... I forgot, these just have recruits on them. They're not... let me think about this. I thought there was mechanized on the other side. I keep forgetting. Well, recruit is still my play. 3 deployed doesn't do me a whole lot of good because it only moves... Oh, wait a minute, it moves infantry. Well, let me think about this. Alright, I have something resembling a plan. First, I'm going to bank this recruit. Now, remember, they apply both to the west and to the east. And theoretically, the west could decide to be jerks, play like a recruit, and then bank the other recruit, cutting me off from it. I could do the same thing to him, quite frankly. So let's bank. I suppose I should stop calling it bank and just call it planning. Planning, that one's going to stay right there. Only costs us 1. And of course we're going to go again, and here's my plan. First it does shift them though. Shake out another order. Oh, there's the mechanized. But what I am going to do is I'm going to pull this out, a deploy order. That'll cost us 3. One, 2, 3. And you see we'll still get to have an action before the Soviets can. That might help us, I'm not sure. And with it, I'm going to try to reorganize our southern front here in a way that can help him and prevent getting surrounded a little more. Alright, first move, I think we're going to bring our armor up here. 1, 2, 3, and it's 3 is the maximum I can do. I'm going to bring the Hungarians. We're going to surrender a little territory here. 1, 2. Dunk, dunk, dunk. And yes, I will protect the flank here of Kursk. That's Kursk, right? Yes, Kursk and Kharkov, yes. Of course, we're in danger of being surrounded here. Yeah, we're gonna just start ceding territory. Something fierce. We'll go into these woods here. Hopefully that'll give us a little cover. And finally, down here. Did you even see all that? Yeah, you could. Okay. Down here, I think, I don't want to do this, but I think I'm going to surrender my position here. I think they're just going to end up surrounding me, and then we could be better deployed elsewhere. So 1, and it costs 2-3 to go over this strait. And this is very defensible. If they try to attack across the strait, it's +3 for the defender's value. So yeah, and worst comes to worst, they start surrounding through here. We can just kind of quick zip up there. The north, I don't think I'm gonna move anything. I think the idea here is that you wait on the Soviets to make their move. If they attack here, I mean, so be it, you do your best thing. But if they attack up here, try to go for Finland, then I start pushing on them and make them think twice about it. I think that's how that's supposed to go. But anyway, that is the end of the OKH's activation. The OK West. OKW's turn. I don't know why I say OK West. But anyway, shift them all down, shift them all down. into the cup. Out of the cup comes material shortage. Well, I'm going to go ahead and bank this guy. I think having some operational flexibility in the next turn, which is going to flip not that soon, but soon enough. So throw that into the planning box. And we move up one. And of course he gets to go again because he only paid one. All right. And we're back again. Zook, 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 zook. Not many left in the cup now. The HQ for the Westerners. All right. What I'm going to do, I think, is not a whole. I already burned up my mechanized. I cannot pick that one. Only the AKH can do that. This is not very useful. Recruit. All right. This is the most expensive order there is. 21 initiative, and 21 plus 61 would be 82. So all the way, man, you can't even see it. I'm off the map now. All the way here. And yes, he will trigger the event. My first infantry, I have 4 infantry steps. The first one needs to be applied to a minor if available. We do have Italians and whatnot, so it's going to be one of those, and you'll pardon me if I pick the Italian that is capable of taking armor. And that would be like so, the 9th. So I was thinking about maxing out my German units in Africa. However, I already have enough in there that I can, I'm doing my job. I'm stalling, and this is enough to stall. This forces the Westerners to make a major military commitment in here to get us out. I want to preserve my Navy, the Italian Navy, for getting out of here. There does come a time when it's time to pull out. And so you want to have all the things in place for that. So I think I'm going to leave them alone. They're doing their job of stalling the Westerners. So I think we're going to build up in mainland Europe here. First, let's go ahead and grant one to fort troops. I'm going to get this up. Now, if fort troops are interesting, fort troops, they can move. But in a deploy movement, they have the option, or an advance movement. They can, instead of advancing, they can pop over to their fort side. And then they don't move. And they become their own unit, completely different from infantry and armor, so they can't queue off of any orders. And the thing is, if you want a 2-point fort, you have to get them to 2 points here. You cannot add, if you're a 1-point fort, you cannot add another one when it's in fort state. So we're going to go ahead and add one here. And if we ever need a fort right there, we'll have it. The other place is France, and here we have 1 unit that can take armor, and I like to prioritize those, and we're going to give him 1 up to 3, and I think we're just going to start beefing up our forts around here. So that's 2, and I just have 1 more point to spend, and we'll go here, and that is the West's activation. Okay, West, that is. The events trigger. So this comes down, it's going to cover up a Western player's airplane. Yoink. And now they have no planes on the map. Up comes Mare Nostrum. Now, we don't have, this isn't going to affect. There's still Axis units in Africa. That's the whole point. At some point, all the Germans and the Italians leave or are destroyed. And the reason, not just, we don't just get rid of that, but also every land in Africa becomes Western controlled. And so that'll be victory points there. It may or may not happen because of if there's any troops there. Any airplanes down there would go get an automatic replacement. The Siege of Malta actually goes back 2 spaces in our favor. And the Western faction gains a transport point. So there is a big incentive to getting people out of Africa, and if that wasn't enough, the longer that Africa stays in play, every time this card comes up, we're going to get a OK West armor. Then, like I said before, I want to keep my shipping intact. If I were to armor up one of those guys in Africa, there would be a check on an attack on the fleet. I kind of don't want that. I kind of want to preserve him, so we're actually going to just armor him. Finally, we get to see what's coming down the pipe. Fatherland Front. This all hinges around Bulgaria. That's not going to really factor in a whole lot. We do draw some cards though. Oh, there's a Western Air. Western Air, come on in. Where are we going to put him? It makes most sense to place him here in order to counter that. So nobody has air superiority. And I have a card that will give me the air superiority. So the OKH and the Soviets draw a card. Let's start with the OKH. And I'm looking for a big draw. There's a particular card in here I really want. Well, I wanted that one too. This is our Get Out of Africa Free card for at least one unit. See, there's no interception with it. Yes, okay, got a card I can really use. I gotta, whew. And now the Soviets, we'll draw their card. And Southeastern Front. That's a lot of these cards, front cards. He's got a lot of those. So let's wrap up this episode. It was a lot of bookkeeping, a lot of reinforcing, not a whole lot of battling. In fact, was there any battles? I don't even think there were. Just a lot of moving around and reinforcing. Okay, so, but we're getting close to the end of the snow, and when fair weather comes around, woo boy, now the offensives are coming. So join us next time when it will be the Western Turns activation. And see you next time. Thanks for watching.